time for Big Mike to go, y'all. It's time for Big Mike to go. I gotta officially make the video, bro. It's time for Big Mike to go. We're 3-3. I understand we're 3-3. The Cowboys going into their bye week. They just got their rocks blown off by the Detroit Lions. And the one thing that I learned from that game is it's time for Big Mike to go. And it's mainly because the Cowboys are stuck in an entirely different decade as far as them modernizing their offensive scheme. And that's just what it is. And Big Mike doesn't address issues when things are clearly an issue. We have clearly seen for a while now, the offensive line coach and what he's been teaching these guys hasn't been working. The run blocking scheme is trash. All of that stuff hasn't been working. There's been no changes made. And it's just, I don't know. Where do we go from here? Who knows? But this season at this point, at best, we're a wild card team. And I still think we ultimately maybe end up getting that if dudes stay healthy or get healthy. But as of right now, bruh, Big Mike, he got to go, bruh. Big Mike got to go, and maybe Mike Zimmer too. Matter of fact, yeah, just clean house. So the Cowboys offense, what we managed to put up against the Detroit Lions was 178 yards passing with the starting offense at least. Roughly about 40 plus yards rushing, a little bit under 50 yards rushing with the starting offense. And then CeeDee Lamb, 14 targets, 7 receptions, 89 yards, and a whole bunch of tight window throws. A lot of pressure on your quarterback, a lack of creativity on the offense, schemes that really are not playing to the strengths of your players. You got Kevontae Turpin trying to make big body catches and run big body routes when he should be running routes that lets him get away from defenders, like drags, seams, goes, anything that allows him to use his speed to actually create some separation. Big Mike just seems like that he doesn't know what's going on in the year 2024 as it pertains to running a creative offensive system that's going to actually make plays easier for your guys. When you have a lack of weapons, we have a lack of players available at your disposal to actually be able to just throw out there and say, beat the man across from you. When you don't have guys that can just go out there and beat the man across from you, when you have one offensive player, just one, because CD is probably the only guy that's on our offensive line right now, or offensive side of the ball, I mean. He's the only guy that can probably just line up, play after play, and beat the guy in front of him if they don't have help. Jake Ferguson, he's not there yet. I know. We all love Ferg. We all love Iceberg Ferg. We all think that he has everything that he needs to be a serious player in this league. But Jake Ferguson is not there yet, bro. He's just not. When there's plays to be made, sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not, but he has to reach that next level. We're not going to overhype him. We're not going to Cowboy star power him into a position he is not ready to be in yet. He is not one of those top tier receiving options as a tight end just yet. He's a good weapon to have out there, but by no means is he a top 5 type of guy at his position, and we can't just act like he is because we like him. Okay, and that's just keeping the book. CD's the only real weapon out there, y'all. Rico Dowdle is not a real starting running back, and the Cowboys don't even want to use him as such. So much so to where Ezekiel Elliott going and complaining to the head coaching staff and complaining probably to Jerry too, because Jerry ended up having comments about this. Ezekiel Elliott going out there and complaining somehow resulted in him getting more carries than Rico Dowdle, when in no world should that ever be happening with Ezekiel Elliott where he is in his career and Rico Dowdle with the production that he gives whenever he does end up running the ball. Rico Dowdle finished the game with 5 yards per carry. Ezekiel Elliott finished the game with 2.1 yards per carry. Rico finished the game with 5 attempts. Ezekiel Elliott had 8 attempts. In no world should Ezekiel Elliott be out touching Rico Dowdle, and that's a failure on the head coach. Or it's a failure on Jerry being too invested in what's going on and decisions being made on the field. It could be a function of both. And if it is a function of Jerry telling Mike McCarthy, this is what we're going to do, then we're just never going to win, y'all. We're just never going to win. It's not going to happen. Because anytime you got an 82-year-old telling you what decisions to make personnel-wise, and it's not in the best interest of the team, you're not going to win. And as a fan base, we just got to get ourselves to that mindset of something weird happened, because Ezekiel Elliott hasn't really looked like the best option in that backfield all season long. And he ended up out carrying and out touching the guy that has looked like the best option in the backfield all season long. That to me doesn't make sense. It smells funny, and I was going to keep an eye on. I didn't even make a video on it because I think it was going to end up playing into the result of this game a lot. but ultimately it did. Because who knows what would happen if you had a more efficient run game, if you actually got a little bit more yardage on some of those run plays. Would that have encouraged Mike McCarthy to stick with the run game a little bit more? Would that have encouraged him to have a little bit more balance with his play calling? Just overall, just in whole, Mike McCarthy, bro, he's really showing all the chinks in the armor, y'all. He's showing all the chinks in the armor. And at what point do we sit back and just count our losses? We got to just cut our losses at some point. But all right, Mike McCarthy, he ain't it. We got 4 more years with Dak. Dak got 4 more years in Dallas to make it happen, because 100%, unless the Super Bowl is won, there's no way he's going to be playing here past the age of 36 or whatever it may be. So he got 4 more years. At this point, you cut your losses. You get you a young head coach, a young modernized head coach running a modernized system. Jerry, you back the heck off and let the Cowboys work and see if you can get something to happen in those last 4 years before you go into a full rebuild. Because this right here showed me that this team is just so far away. Even with all the injuries, we understand all the injuries are there. But this right here just showed me how far away this team actually is. It's nowhere near close to competing. It's nowhere near close to being a balanced team. It's nowhere near close to being a physical team or changing the culture in any way. That was something we felt like, okay, they played the Steelers tough physical football. They played a tough physical brand of football against the Steelers. Came back against the Lions, got punched in the mouth over and over again. So they can only play tough for 1 week. That's what they can do. That's what they're capable of. That's what they've shown us so far. It's 1 week and then it's back to the status quo. Soft Charmin toilet paper, getting punched in the mouth. And what can you do? That's an identity thing. That's just the identity of this Cowboys team. And we have a lot of guys whose names have been elevated to a place that potentially, I don't think they may have been elevated had they played anywhere else outside of Dallas. Playing anywhere else outside of Dallas, is anybody really having real expectations for a guy like a Ryan Flanoy to come in and really make a difference, be a difference maker? First NFL catch, he fumbles the ball. Anywhere else, are the fans looking for the 6th rounder to come in and potentially end up being a star? Play anywhere else, are you looking at a guy that had 700 yards last season receiving? Are you looking at him as being a top 5 tight end? Anywhere else, are you looking at Jalen Tolbert as being a bona fide wide receiver 2 and being the option and being the real answer there? Anywhere else, are you looking at these guys as the type of players that they are? And that's the question you ask. CeeDee Lamb, I believe he's still a CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott, I believe he's still going to be Dak Prescott, because a lot of what he's had to do in his career has been in spite of what the Cowboys are and how they're built. Because you can see here, bro, I don't care who is here. It seems like the offense always reverts back. When they're bad and they're not clicking, they always look like the same exact offense, like literally over the last 20 years. There's like a 20-year stretch of when this Cowboys offense looks bad, it looks like that particular offense. For the last 20 years, that's what our bad offense looks like the Jerry Jones special or something. I don't know what it is, y'all. I don't know what it is. Does Mike McCarthy need to be fired? Should it be over? Is it time for Al Harris? Is it time to promote Al Harris to head coach? I don't think it could hurt. At this point, I don't think it could hurt. What could it hurt? What could it hurt? He's already the assistant head coach or something like that. Promote him to head coach and let these guys do what they're going to do, man. Because Mike McCarthy ain't the answer. Mike McCarthy ain't the answer in this time. We got to do something different on offense. There has to be a different plan. There has to be a different approach. There has to be a different philosophy in place or something. I don't know. But either way, we still same old Cowboys.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.